Let's see here. Ooh, a children's museum. The Valentine Diner. That'd be a good place to check out. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to yet another Let's Try. My mom just got back from a lovely little road trip and had some presents for her wonderful children, including this. She got it because she's like, oh, Royce doesn't like Trump. He'll think this is funny. But it's like, also like, there's, I forget what it's called, but there's the fallacy where, there's logical fallacy where ironic support for something is still support for something. So like, it's like, it's funny, but it also like, meh. Anyway, I'll wear it because she bought it for me. Yep. Yeah, my mom just got back from Uranus, and boy, was it a pain in her butt. Came up with that on the drive home. And so yeah, this one's gonna be predicated on a lot of bad jokes about the fact that my mom and my grandma went to a town called Uranus. Uranus, Missouri, to be precise. They drove like 100 miles out of the way just to go there because they saw a billboard advertising it. It was that kind of road trip. So yeah, got the hat, got the cup, got the Uranus Examiner. Ooh, it's got cold fingers. And then my mom got me a bottle opener gun, and my grandma got me a glow in the dark wasp. She thought it was a brown recluse, but that is not a brown recluse. I believe that's do they call it black jacket or something like that? I don't know. I still like it because I love like I like one of my favorite props that I've always wanted was a mosquito in resin, or in amber, just like in Jurassic Park. Anyway, but on to the main thing that she got. The thing that I'm sure you all would prefer I focus on rather than showing you the tchotchkes she got me. The best fudge comes from Uranus. We have a variety of flavors here to try, as you can see. I just hope my brother and cousin got their fair share before I absconded with it to my room. Let's start with this normal one first, though. Very good, albeit plain fudge. Very sort of a brownish texture almost. Like, it is. I mean, like, how am I supposed to describe fudge to you guys? It's fudge. Like, literally, fudgy is a texture ascribed to things that are not fudge, like brownies. Next, we have Rocky Road, which, I guess someone ate a lot of corn for that one. I'm sorry. Look, this is somehow gonna be even worse than me drinking Fat Bastard stool sample. The marshmallows add a weird texture to it, which reminds me of so my brother and I once topped brownies with marshmallows, and it actually, because of like, marshmallows are basically just sugar and either hydrogenated oil or animal collagen. They melted across the top of the brownies and became this like crackling, almost like creme brulee texture. It was really good. if you just want to add a little uniqueness to your brownies next time you're baking, give that a try. Just put some mini marshmallows on top and let them melt into this like almost brittle texture, like nut brittle texture. I mean. Speaking of nuts, I believe this will be peanut butter. I told Mom that I would definitely want some of this because I'm a peanut butter boy. I love peanut butter flavor. You know, it's strange. The entire animal kingdom seems to like peanut butter. I was watching this dude who runs like a assists in a nature preserve or something, and he fed peanut butter to like every animal he takes care of. Uh, the Watusi, which is like this sort of a ox water buffalo type critter. Black and brown bears, prairie dogs, giraffes, ostriches. Like, as long as you don't have a nut allergy, peanut butter is delicious and perfect. Because, like, what is it? It's peanuts mixed with oil into a homogeneous liquid, and it's just it is. George Washington Carver was a man ahead of his time. Anyway, let's try mint next. Ooh. That reminds me of when my mom would make butter mints. Or, well, cream cheese mints. She would mix mint extract, cream cheese, and powdered sugar. And make just a ton of these, like, very lovely, sweet mints. Like, they would have... honestly, they were probably rotting your teeth out and give you halitosis more than real mint should, but they still tasted good. Ah! M&M Fudge, which, I mean, like, doesn't... I mean, like, Mom was just getting all the flavor she could, I think. Yeah, that's just M&M's and Fudge. And it makes me think that this is dark chocolate, actually, because this is a lot better flavor. Finally, we have Butterfinger and Heath Bar. I guess we'll do Heath Bar first. The toffee is sadly kind of lost. Actually, I'm having trouble tasting over the mint, so let's take a sip. Excuse me. Sadly, not the... Because, like, with toffee, you always expect a crunch. Also, like, I'm not a big fan of this white chocolate fudge, but let's see if the Butterfinger does a little better. Butterfinger does a lot better. A lot more of that peanut butter texture comes through with the Butterfinger. Was that a piece of peanut butter, or was that a piece of white chocolate fudge that I just picked up? I still got a piece of dark chocolate and a piece of... Or I still got the rest of the dark chocolate and the rest of Butterfinger in here. I'll see if Joe wants that first. But there's one last thing. Uranus Farms, fresh from Uranus to the table, toasted pecan syrup with pecans in the syrup. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pop this. I'm gonna take the spoon that came to sample the fudge with, and we're gonna take a little sampling off the top here. Will this taste like pecan pie or something a little more? A little more watery than I'm used to with syrup, but pretty good. Although I'm mostly tasting just the pecans because, like, as you can see, there's literally just pecans there, like a lava lamp. There's an idea. Edible lava lamps. Just like in My Favorite Martian. Anyway. That's from Uranus. But why don't we take a chance and read some quips from Uranus. Let's see if I can find something funny. Oh, here we go. Finding love in Uranus. Love advice from Uranus. Dear matchmaker in Uranus, I think my boyfriend is talking to other girls behind my back. How to make sure he isn't safe with me. Dear looking for hope. From looking for hope. Dear looking for hope. A dog wouldn't be unfaithful or cheat on you. But if you insist on keeping your boyfriend interested, let him get a big package in Uranus with 60 different fudge flavors. Oh, that's just an ad for the Fudge Factory. Here I thought this would be an actual newspaper. And, you know what? Why don't I take a chance to talk about my mom and grandma's trip? So then we're going down to Missouri to visit my great aunt, who is sadly getting close to the end. This was my grandma's last big road trip. You know, she was born in 47. She's getting on in years. She doesn't, she can't be gallivanting across the U.S. the way she used to with my grandpa when they were, a spry 50. My grandpa, God bless him, I shouldn't go on. Anyway. Excuse me. They were fighting traffic. Well, not traffic, but they were fighting to get reservations everywhere because here's the problem. They accidentally planned their trip for when the eclipse was going to happen. They weren't even interested in the eclipse. They just wanted to go visit my great aunt. And but so they find this place. They go to Uranus on the way. They're making a trip out of it. They're having fun. And, sorry. And so, they have fun with everyone, and my mom's, and, and to give you Missouri is such a strange state compared to Iowa, or Nebraska, or, Illinois, wherever. Because in Missouri, especially when you get way down south, and my mom was really perplexed by this. You'll go by towns where literally the entire town is flush against the highway. In Iowa especially, you have a lot of towns where, they have a little rest stop area next to the interstate, and then you have to actually go further in to past the farms and stuff to get to the city area. Because no one wants to have their residential place near the interstate. Um, alright. And, having whole towns just in a strip, basically, along this highway was weird for her. And then actually getting to my grandma, it was 100 mile, or getting to my great aunt, it was 100 mile drive from the hotel to the place, which, well, I think Lightning McQueen would be able to describe it best. Hillbilly hell. Like, the kind of place where they fly the Confederate flag and, uh, people of color might not feel safe. You know, that kind of place. Um, but anyway, so I don't even know how she got there because, like, my great aunt used to live in Iowa. I don't know. Anyway, families spread all across the world. It's strange. Anyway, so like they go, they have fun, they and the 100 mile drive to and from my great aunt's is through very hilly terrain that is like single lane, literally two cars cannot go by each other, and just like the worst possible. Like, you would not want to drive this. And my mom was like, "Yeah, no. If this had been a couple years ago when I was getting panic attacks driving up and down hills, else I wouldn't have been able to do this." So uh, that's a thing. And uh, yeah, and then one time they had to drive it in pouring rain, like could not see an inch in front of your face. This was all like last week. And then finally, they come home, and the night before they get back to town, they stop off in I think it was St. Joe, and they go to this Mexican restaurant, and there's a bunch of college kids there. My mom took some photos. All the people in the background are like taking selfies and Instagram photos and stuff. It looks like a fun time. And so my mom orders my grandma a margarita. Now, she thought it was going to be a margarita like you get it at Red Lobster, where it comes in, like one of those fun or kind of large cups with the blue rim and stuff. They bring her a fishbowl. Like, it's the shape of one of those, like, Red Lobster margarita cups, but it's about yay big. It is like someone had put a pitcher of margarita into a single serving cup, into a single cup. And my mom sends us this picture of my grandma just looking at it like it. She has like a Mona Lisa kind of look where it's like you can't really tell what she's thinking. Like, I look at it and I see like a mixture of confusion and maybe a little anger. Like, oh no, like almost disgust. It and like she doesn't finish the whole thing. She takes it to home to go in a soup container, like this big, like pint soup container. So, however big that was, she drank enough that she was able to take some home. And you have to remember that my grandma was a heavy drinker in her younger years. She ran a bar. She and my grandpa used to throw back slugs of Canadian whiskey every single night. Like, my grandma was a huge proponent of whiskey and water. This is the stock I came from, and yet I refuse to drink because I'm a teetotaler and because addiction runs hard in my family. I mean, you already see. I have my own addictions. Thank you very much. Also, the last thing before I go, my mom got this for me. Honestly, though, you should probably put me on speakerphone because I talk so loud that if you don't, I'll just be shouting in your ear. Like, my inside voice is an outside voice because I grew up around a deaf man. My dad can't hear for crud because he was on the firing range in the Rangers and would be doing mortar practices because he was trained to be a mortar technician or whatever. Anyway, that's it for me today. Y'all have a good one. This is Royce Miller. I'm outie.